Welcome to Moving Through and Beyond, a podcast dedicated to sharing inspired journeys of redefining life, vision, and purpose after immense hardship and grief. My goal with this podcast is to give you hope and to let my guest journeys inspire you to make the choice to keep looking up. I'm your host, Carey Conley. I had a really interesting conversation with a new friend of mine who has helped me not only personally, but I just interviewed him for my podcast. His name is Dr. Rob Kelly. And two of the things that I have really learned in the past, most specifically the past year, is that sometimes we get into a mode of totally disassociating, which brings on anxiety. And I've become aware of what's been really kind of creating that in myself and how I see that play out in other people. So the first thing I want to tell you that's played a big part in my awareness of this is your physical space. If you're feeling just totally not connecting with the people around you, not feeling inspired by where you physically live, there could be a really big key. And this has been a hard decision for me to make, but I've had to make some decisions around actually moving from the state I moved to 2 years ago to move back to Arizona, because I could tell that it was really that space that I was in just did not align with who I am and how I feel. So check in with your physical space. I also want to encourage you to check in with the people that are around you, your relational space. A lot of times we have been with people for a long period of time in our life that served a purpose. It was a loving relationship. We were going through the same things together. We had the same interests, same seasons of life, like, moms raising kids, they have like a little tribe for a while. And when you get to a new level in your life, if you are personally growing, which I encourage you to do, you're going to find that every once in a while, you're going to have to check in on what are your relationships. Who are you hanging with? And a lot of times we have to maybe, again, not make a big deal of it, but just start pulling back from a relationship to make space to bring new people in. So check in on your relationships. And the last thing I want to encourage you to do, and this is where I mentioned Dr. Rob Kelly, because he really works on people around rewiring the brain. So much of what's going on in our heads, all of the things that our self-talk, for many can be very not so good. We're really hard on ourselves, much harder on ourselves than other people. And I have become super aware of that, again, working with the clients that I work with on their vision and what I hear them say about their vision and how they feel about creating the life or their dreams. A lot of the stuff they have going on is not so great. And we have to go to work at not beating ourselves up for what we're saying to ourselves, because that's step number one. Step number one is actually becoming aware. Step number two is actually wanting to change that and going to work at understanding with compassion and grace that you are exactly where you are meant to be. It's just we've got to rewire the brain and go to work at putting in new positive messages. If you found this episode inspiring or helpful, please share it with a friend or a family member. In order to be successful on this mission, I can't do it alone. Connect with me at www.careyconley.com, and don't forget to sign up for my weekly Do It On Purpose newsletter. Let's build this life-giving vision movement together to end this epidemic, save lives, and create purpose.